Good mythical afternoon, everyone. This is Mr. Ayala. This is 1.4 Regions of the United States. As always, feel free to write notes, as you should be doing, and pause the video as needed and fill out the correct answer so that you can get your credit. So let's get started. So by the end of this slideshow, you should be able to describe the 5 major regions of the United States. So not only should you be able to identify their location and the major states that are in there, but you should also be able to describe it using the theme of geography known as place. So let's start off. There's 5 of them. If you see right here, we have the Northeast in purple. We have the Southeast in a pinkish purple. We have the Middle West, also known as the Midwest in the green, also known as the breadbasket of the United States. We have then the West, which is in this reddish color. That includes Alaska, which is way up north and attached to Canada, and Hawaii, which is all the way in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. And finally, the Southwest down here in this orangey color. So let's begin. So the first one, we're going to look at the Northeast. The states are Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland. So first thing, let's look at some climate. So they have a humid continental climate with cool summers in the northernmost areas, and they have moderate precipitation. When we say that they have a humid continental climate, that means that they have all 4 seasons and that it's humid. So that means it has a high humidity and there's moisture always in the air. As moderate precipitation, as it rains a moderate amount, aka in the middle, not too much, not too little, smack dab in the middle. And we have some major geographic features that we need to know of. They have the Appalachian Mountains, which start over here and kind of go all the way down here, all the way to the southeast. We have the Atlantic Ocean to the east, the Great Lakes to the northwest and the west. We also have Canada to the north, actually the province of Quebec mostly. From there, we then have the southeast. We have the states of West Virginia, Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, and Florida. And these areas have a humid subtropical climate. We have very hot summers, hurricanes in the summer and fall along the Gulf Coast, which is right over here, and the Atlantic Ocean. So yes, that means Florida, we have both sides kind of getting hit, and because we are a peninsula, we also have the Gulf of Florida right here between us and Cuba, pardon me, that also can bring hurricanes through the Keys. Major geographic features, so you still have the Appalachian Mountains going down through this area. Sometimes we call this area Appalachia. We also have the Atlantic Ocean to the east, the Gulf of Mexico to the southwest, and the Mississippi River, which starts in Louisiana near New Orleans and kind of goes up this direction. So really important area, especially since we live there. From there, we have the Midwest, also known as the breadbasket. You have the states of Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, Missouri, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, and North Dakota. Make sure you can label most of these. The climate is humid continental climate, so yet again, 4 seasons, high humidity. Snow is quite common. They have moderate precipitation. Thunderstorms and tornadoes are also very common. And the reason that there's so many tornadoes and thunderstorms is because you have a lot of different fronts coming in from across the U.S. and Canada. Because you have the northern winds coming down from Canada. You have the Gulf winds coming from the Gulf. Sometimes the Pacific, and sometimes even the Atlantic. And as they crush into each other, they start making a circular vortex. And next thing you know, you got thunderstorms and tornadoes. Why we call parts of these areas, mostly in these areas, Tornado Alley. Major features are the Great Lakes up in the northern area. The Great Plains, which stretch all the way over here. It's our major breadbasket, where the majority of our wheat, corn, and soybean comes from. The Mississippi River, because it comes out from Louisiana all the way through the Missouri, up and around through here. And then, of course, our nice neighbors to the north, Canada. From there, we have the Southwest. Only has 4 states: Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, and Arizona. The climate is semi-arid, which means it's slightly dry. It's a steppe climate, as in it has a lot of plateaus. And the west, and more humid in the eastern areas. So, and they also have desert alpine, aka cold mountain weather in the far west. So when you look at, for example, Texas, you have your humid climate over here in the east around the Gulf. As you get further to the west, you end up with more of a steppe climate in like New Mexico, parts of Oklahoma, and Texas. And then as you get to the northern parts of New Mexico, the panhandle of Oklahoma, Texas, and Arizona, you end up with large mountains based off the Rocky Mountains and other mountainous areas in that region. That gives us those alpine areas. So more or less, that's the area on top of a mountain that where the snow is. We call those the alpine areas. Major geographic features, you have the Rocky Mountains, which kind of are all the way here, all the way up through Canada. You have the Colorado River, the Gulf of Mexico, and then the nation of Mexico to the south. Up next, in the west, you have the states of Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Utah, Nevada, California, Alaska, and Hawaii. This is the most diverse region in the United States, with climates ranging from semi-arid, like the southwest, also alpines along the mountains, like the Rocky Mountains and the Cascadias. The coastline is mostly Mediterranean, in particular parts of California. You have desert, also Nevada and Southern California, and a whole bunch of different mixed precipitation levels. As in some places get a lot of rain, like Washington and Oregon. Some places get very little rain, like Nevada, parts of Southern California. And some places get moderate amount of rain, like parts of Wyoming and Colorado. You have a whole bunch of major geographic features. You have the Rocky Mountains, the Sierra Nevada, the Mojave Desert, the Pacific Ocean to the west, and Canada to the north, and Mexico to the south. Right down here you have Baja California. So that's today's video, and as always, don't forget to be awesome.